A report on air pollution index has revealed that some 42,000 individuals succumb to the worsening air pollution in Nepal annually. The scenario might still look like the tip of the iceberg, as an estimated 7 million people worldwide are killed every year by air pollution. Air pollution, therefore, is fast turning into a silent killer, as Nepal is listed in the 16th position among the 131 countries with the worst air pollution record. The onus is on the state and general public alike as we head into a bleak future in the wake of the air pollution triggered by climate change and global warming. Good evening, I am Prarambha Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Padam Bahadur Limbu, who had lost his life during the agitation over the naming of Koshi province, declared a martyr. Limbu's family to be compensated with 1 million rupees. A report says over 42,000 individuals succumb to worsening air pollution in the country annually. Nepal listed in the 16th position among 131 countries with alarming air pollution. US President Joe Biden's administration blames chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan on his predecessor Donald Trump. Trump responds saying that the White House is playing a disinformation game. And former world number 3 Dominic Thiem storms into the quarterfinals of the Estoril Open. Ben Shelton surrenders in straight sets. The government has declared Padam Bahadur Limbu, who had lost his life during the protest held in the naming of Koshi province, as a martyr. The meeting today of the Council of Ministers has also decided to provide 1 million rupees to the family of deceased Limbu. According to government spokesperson and Minister for Communications and Information Technology, Rekha Sharma, the government has also decided to facilitate dialogue regarding the protest against Koshi as the name of Province 1. Limbu, a resident of Dharan, was injured during a protest in Biratnagar demanding the renaming of the province on the 19th of March last month. The Election Commission has implemented the Code of Conduct for the by-elections of the House of Representatives slated for the 23rd of April, effective from today. The Apex Election Authority has implemented the Code of Conduct for the by-elections in Chitwan Electoral Constituency 2, Tanhong 1 and Bara 2. The Code of Conduct will be in effect from today until the end of the elections. According to the Commission, the Code of Conduct will be applicable to the federal and provincial ministers, officials of constitutional bodies, security personnel, candidates and individuals holding public positions, among others. During this period, candidates are prohibited from engaging in activities influencing the voters, using sources of public departments during their campaigns, announcing new programs and using children in the election campaigns. The Commission has also clarified of microscopic monitoring of the expenditures of parties and candidates. The Commission has also prohibited promotions and transfers, excluding works related to election and foreign visits unless very important. The Nepali Congress General Secretary Gagan Thapa has urged Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal not to get confused in issuing directives and making announcements. Saying that the public were concerned because of the current political mechanism, Thapa said that Prime Minister Dahal had to make the best possible use of time without getting distracted by minor issues. Addressing the special hour during today's session of the House of Representatives, Nepali Congress General Secretary Thapa said that the government's common minimum program had to be made public through the parliament. Saying that the implementation of the common minimum program was more important than its announcement, Thapa added that Prime Minister Dahal himself was not confident about the implementation aspect. Member of the House of Representatives, Thapa said that delivery depended on the team and the office of the Prime Minister. Meanwhile, Manish Jha of Rashtriya Swatantra Party questioned Prime Minister Dahal for changing the priorities of the common minimum program almost overnight. CPN Unified Socialist Deputy Chair and Parliamentarian Rajendra Pandey said that issues of public concern were raised at the Parliament on a daily basis and unless the government of remaining indifferent to such issues. He also demanded response from the government regarding public concerns. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal has identified the need for collaboration between all three tiers of the government along with private, cooperative and non-government sectors, including the civil society and development partners. Addressing the meeting of the Sustainable Development Goals Steering Committee held at the office of the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers in Singhadarbar today, Prime Minister Dahal said that government could not act alone to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Saying that the government was in the phase of developing policies, programs and budget for the upcoming fiscal year, Prime Minister Dahal directed all government departments to prioritize sustainable development goals. The Sustainable Development Goals aim to end poverty, conserve environment, and ensure peace and prosperity by 2030. The Constitution of Nepal prioritizes achievement of Sustainable Development Goals under several topics, including fundamental rights, state policies, and other arrangements. Committees have been formed at different levels for the efficient implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. The Federal Parliament also has a Sustainable Development and Good Governance Committee. A political nexus with the group has been found in sending more than 800 Nepali nationals to the United States of America, disguising them as Bhutanese refugees and charging millions of rupees. An investigation has revealed that a group sending 875 Nepali nationals disguised as Bhutanese refugees was working under political cover. It has been claimed that then Home Minister Ram Bahadur Thapa's security advisor Indrajit Rai, former Energy Minister Top Bahadur Rai Maji, among others, were in close contact with the group. The group has been alleged of charging 1 million to 1.5 million rupees per individual to send them to the US as Bhutanese refugees. Those involved with the group sending money have been identified by the investigation as then Home Minister Ram Bahadur Thapa's security advisor Rai, his son Neeraj, Keshav Prasad Dulal, Sandesh Sharma, Sanu Bhandari, Ashok Pokhrel, Sagar Thulung Rai, and Thangka Gurung. Dulal was the then personal aide to Nepali Congress leader and former Deputy Prime Minister Sujata Koirala. The police even confiscated a 15 million rupee check in the name of former Energy Minister Rai Maji's son Sudeep Rai Maji. The police arrested Dulal, Bhandari, Thulung and Gurung 10 days ago. The then Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli-led government had formed a task force on the 14th of July 2019 to resolve the problems of the refugees whose names did not make the list of the third country relocation. It has been confirmed that when the task force, under the coordination of then Joint Secretary at the Home Ministry, Balkrishna Panthi, was operating, the group received political cover and had collected the names of the fake Bhutanese refugees. A study has shown that air pollution causes 42,100 deaths in Nepal every year. According to the study published by the Ministry of Health and Population and the USAID on the occasion of the World Health Day, 42,100 individuals had lost their lives in Nepal in 2019 because of air pollution. Of them, 5,080 were the residents of the Kathmandu Valley. Based on the report of the Air Quality Monitoring Center as of the 4th of March 2022, Nepal ranks 16th in the list of polluted countries among 131 nations. According to the study, 66% of the deaths related to pulmonary problems in Nepal are caused by air pollution. A pair of artificial lungs was also installed at the Ministry of Health and Population on the occasion of the World Health Day. Menstruation is a part of natural cycle for females. However, during the monthly period, many women face physical and mental challenges. A study has shown that 80% women go through physically painful periods, which makes it difficult for them to go about their daily lives. Most women of menstruating age have to go through body aches, irritation, nausea and anxiety, among others. These experiences are higher for girls having their periods for the first time and women reaching menopause. Most menstruating women rely on medicines to deal with the pain. However, long-term use of such medicines can be detrimental to their own health. Health experts recommend plenty of rest and fluids during monthly periods. However, working women at the lack of period leaves and relevant facilities are compelled to continue working despite difficulties. The scenario is no different for schoolgirls, many of whom have to adjust to common toilet facilities during periods or miss out on classes. Many women share that most institutions and workplaces do not provide sanitary pads to those in need, and even that causes inconveniences. A few countries in the world like Japan, South Korea and India provide women menstrual leaves. The proposal to provide such leaves surfaces every now and then in Nepal as well, but expected changes are due. A few local levels have begun providing leaves to their female staff. However, rights activists call on the stakeholders to ensure better facilities for women. International Implantology Congress has begun in Nepal. The Congress has been organized with the objective of sharing experiences regarding implant dentistry. The Congress, which concludes tomorrow, is being attended by specialists of 15 countries and is holding discussions regarding the progress in the field of dentistry. Talks are also to be held regarding ensuring international standard treatment for patients. Participating dentists have so far shared their experiences regarding ensuring ease in access to treatment at a low cost. Also addressing the program, ophthalmologist Dr. Sanduk Ruit shared Nepal's achievement regarding eye transplant at a low cost by producing intraocular lens, which is considered expensive in other parts of the world. Dilapidated condition of Jaleshwar prison has made the life of inmates more difficult. A total of 528 detainees are being held in the jail, which has a capacity of only 200 inmates. With the facility exceeding capacity, problems have surfaced regarding food, accommodation and sanitation. Risks of diseases have also increased during summer because of the excessive number of jailbirds. While jails are considered as correctional facilities, dilapidated condition of the Jaleshwar prison has aggravated the condition of the jail inmates. Repair works of two bridges built over the Rapti River in Dang have begun. The bridge in Bhaluwang under the East-West Highway and the other linking Lamhawi and Garowa are being repaired. According to the Bridge Sector Dang office, repair works have begun as the bridges had remained in a dilapidated condition for a long period of time and had increased risks of accidents. The bridge in Bhaluwang was built 45 years ago, while the other connecting Lamhawi and Garowa was built 25 years before. Illegal extraction of stones and gravel has increased in the Turia River of the Chure region. The local residents have protested against the failure in taking actions against those involved in the illegal extraction of resources from the Turia River of the Chure region. Entities responsible for taking actions, the local bodies, Forest Office and local police are engaged in blame games, while illegal extraction has further increased. According to the local residents, active groups are involved in the illegal extraction of the river resources. While the local government has remained indifferent to the issue, local police has shared a political pressure to release those arrested for their involvement in the illegal mining. It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, what should be done for the safeguarding of endangered languages? Your options are A. Initiation of Language Commission, B. Include in academic curriculum, and C. Practical use. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. It is now time for the international news. US President Joe Biden's administration has blamed its chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan on his predecessor Donald Trump in a new report. A 12-page summary of the report says President Biden was severely constrained by Trump's decisions, including a 2020 deal with the Taliban to end the war. But the report also acknowledges that the government should have begun the evacuation of civilians earlier. Trump responded that the White House was playing a disinformation game. The deadly pullout in August 2021 ended America's longest war. 13 U.S. soldiers and nearly 200 Afghans were killed as U.S. troops scrambled to evacuate more than 120,000 people in a matter of days. A review of decisions and actions leading up to the withdrawal conducted by the State Department and the Pentagon was sent privately to Congress on Thursday. Republicans in the House of Representatives of U.S. who are investigating the pullout had been demanding to see the report for weeks. The document remains confidential, but a summary of its conclusions put together by the White House National Security Council with input from President Biden himself has been made available to the public. When the Afghan government collapsed, there were desperate scenes at Kabul airport as huge crowds tried to flee the Taliban. On 26 August, an attack at the airport by two suicide bombers killed 170 Afghans and 13 U.S. soldiers. The U.S. carried out a drone strike in Kabul days later, saying it had targeted a suicide bomber, only to admit that the missile had killed 10 civilians, including 7 children. The United Nations World Food Programme has been cutting on the number of people it planned to provide food aid in South Sudan, citing lack of funds amid the war in Ukraine and drought in East Africa. The reduction has made the already struggling refugees more vulnerable.
Of green salad leaves outside her thatched home. Susan Konga is preparing her kitchen garden for the next harvest. This year, the success of her tireless cultivation will be put to the ultimate test: complete self-sufficiency. Urgent global crises like the war in Ukraine, the earthquake in Turkey, and the drought in East Africa mean there is less food aid for people like Konga, a South Sudanese single mother living in a refugee camp in northern Uganda. A roughly 50% shortfall in funds this year has forced the United Nations World Food Programme to cut off the food supply for hundreds of thousands of refugees in Uganda, the country hosting more than any other in Africa. After 6 years in Uganda, Konga must now rely entirely on the maize, cassava and salad leaves grown in her small vegetable patch. She says the abrupt change in policy will make it difficult for her to adjust.
They should at least give food for everyone. Since we are not yet stable, the food should continue for everyone at least for more 2 or 3 years to come. Then there, at least we can, in the middle, we can plan for what to do for an individual. But now it is so abrupt that we cannot do it because all of us are vulnerable. Nobody can stand on his own.
WFP says vulnerable refugees such as new arrivals, the sick and the elderly will continue to receive emergency food aid. But the organization's $180 million funding shortfall means others will have to be weaned off it.
There cannot be resilience if you do not receive emergency support when you're hit by crisis. But these people have been able to link into livelihood interventions, to work with our various partners and be able to stand on their own and be sustainable. And this is the third category that we shall be supporting and winning of food assistance.
Konga says the rains have been good so far, but she will struggle to survive the periods between harvests.
So I can't stand on my own. I can't decide and say I can. But I think the little I provide is to supplement the food I have. So if it is not there, if I'm not supported, I can't stand on my own.
Endangered Sumatran tigers, meerkats and squirrel monkeys join in the Eastern excitement activities at the ZSL London Zoo. Footage released by the zoo shows the animals foraging and hunting for eggs, just like children enjoying the conservation zoo's egg hunt. 9-month-old critically endangered Sumatran tiger cubs Crispin and Zack played with giant cardboard eggs inside the enclosure. The meerkats foraged among sand and rocks for their own egg, while Bolivian black-capped squirrel monkeys foraged amongst colorful eggs hanging in their treetop home. That is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin airs at 10:30 p.m. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye for now.